Jezebel has been kidnapped. Jezebel has been taken by the ogre tribes and has been forced into slavery. What she's been doing to other ogres, they will be doing to her. But that won't last for long. We will rise up and we'll do better than ever before, because I'm going to issue a warrant, get her back. It's going to be super easy, really. Not only because I don't have time to go on a great island escapade to go get her, but it's also not the point. We do now have an enemy, a sworn enemy within this series that we need to wipe out in order to get revenge. Now, I do have a plan for this. A very interesting plan. Now, at the end of the last episode, when we did finally get them to retreat, we had a lot of survivors. A lot of survivors. Now, what would be really interesting is to form an army we don't really have at the moment. So what better way to create an army than to have the ogre vampire hybrid capture all of the ogres and make an ogre army to defeat the ogres? That is the plan for today's episode, alongside getting Smelly pregnant. That is also a very large objective. So if you enjoy any of today's episode or are excited to see us enter the dark era of enslaving ogres and making them really, really, really good slaves, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. So first things first, a warrant. A warrant must be issued in order for us to get back Jezebel. How much money have we got? 2,800. More than enough. I would usually go out into the world and try to find Jezebel, but as a quick throwback to a earlier series, a few series backs, I never actually managed to find one of these colonists that I lost. So I'm going to go for the warrant system just to make things a lot easier so I don't have a repeat of last time. So Jezebel Cook, we're going to have a capture payment of 2,500 silver, and the reason is going to be kidnapping. We're bringing you back because you've been kidnapped. Let's create that warrant. Done. And it will be 4.4 days till it's accepted, and then there'll be some more days on top of that for her to come back. There you go. So the shuttle has been loaded. So all that quest was to look out for some prisoners for a meager 9 hours. And the loss we had a result is huge. Let's send them away and we'll get our reward. And Lord Tiamat, in all of his pain and misery, has gained another level of magical attunement. Sick. So we're going to level him up once more time in his base stats to get him to level 10. Perfect. And the next level, we will go back into the primal tree and finish him off. He has an arcane load of 336, which should hopefully mean he pretty much should be able to use his abilities constantly without having to rest. Unfortunately, one of our blood bags has just died from the plague. Wow, I'm very sorry, sir. You did not have a very good life. And in terms of our ogres, only 3 survived. A little bit of an issue when I'm trying to go to war with the ogres and I don't really have an army. So you've got Lax, Pigub, and Crusher. Flax, very interestingly, is a Jotun, a frost Jotun, in fact, which means that they're just extremely powerful, like really, really, really strong. They are unwaveringly loyal, however. Double passion in archery, double passion in construction, not too bad. We have Pigub, double passion in archery, and double passion in mining and cooking. Very nice, just a basic ogre. And we have Crusher, single passion in archery, single passion in construction, 6 in melee, but has some very nice stats. It looks like pretty much all of these ogres are going to be long range, so that's quite nice. We're going to get them all enslaved and everything, and I will work out our way to make them so they're not so powerful. Oh no. Solus has decided to run wild. Ah. Whoops. Oh, Solus. All because Jezebel has gone. Solus, the ultimate simp, has lost his master. That's not good. Lord Tiamat, can you just... 50% chance. Has anyone got a better chance of arresting Solus? Because I don't really want to have to accidentally kill him. Everybody only has a 50% chance of arresting Solus. I'm going to get Lord Tiamat to do it and hope that this doesn't go too badly. We need to arrest him so we can put him in prison so I can keep a track on him, basically. There we go. Perfect. Easy peasy. And if I remember rightly, Yak was the animal expert. So Yak will eventually try to tame him back. And just like that, Solus is in prison with Hops. A situation we never would have expected. And human revenge. Why can we not tame these humans? Why is it so difficult for these humans just to, you know, join us? Yak over here and Mike are going to have to beef with Trananone. Trananone has gone down here. Let's rescue him. Capture Trananone. Maybe he'll join, maybe he won't. And Tranone joined after we just beat him senseless. Perfect. Tranone, what were you good at? You are a crash baby who is good at plants and could be okay at crafting. You're not the best. You are one of the wild men from last episode who I said weren't very good. We'll still keep you, I think, just whilst we're building up our colony again. And let's get you arrested and turned into a slave. And enslaved. Hops has been re-enslaved. Hops, welcome back. You must now adorn the slave outfit. You're no longer deserving of anything regarding vampires. I'm sorry, Hops. It didn't have to end this way, but you chose it. So very interestingly, Hops remained connected to both of her Garandon trees as well, even though she left the map, which is very handy for us, so we don't need to reset that up. We could also now, legally and actually appropriately, make Balzana and Hops sleep together. If you remember when last time Hops was still a colonist, and she fell in love with Balzana and had an affair. So we can get them to sleep together now, which is cool, I think. And Lax has been enslaved. The first ogre ogre in quotations has been enslaved. Now, I unfortunately, because of how the game works, I was not able to convert Lax, but that will be something we will aim towards with Lax as we get there. Lax is going to be very good for us with the construction and the archery skill. I think what we're going to do to make sure that these ogres and Jotuns know that they are slaves, we'll just force them into the slaves outfit, and I will probably maim them in one way or another to make them not quite as powerful. Also, a quick update on our poo and corpse pile. I updated the poo and corpse pile by adding fish traps to it. I'm not sure what possessed me to build fresh fish traps around here. I just thought it might be interesting to see what we catch. And so far, I have no idea if we've caught anything, and I probably don't think we will. And Lord Tyom at the end of last episode also became able to re-implant his genes into somebody. Now, this somebody could basically either be Dutch, who I've toted to be a very strong vampire all this time and will take over the research whilst Jezebel's not here. Or we have another option and to go for Harris. Harris appeared, and Harris is extremely strong. Critical passion in archery, 11 in construction, 14 in art, and 11 in intellectual. Now, on the base of things, Harris is definitely a better colonist. However, Dutch has got something about him. I like these mantids, and I feel like Lord Tyom deserves a friend. So Dutch, come out the front of the tavern and let's get you implanted. So Smelly, implant your genes into Dutch. Let us have another vampire. And there it is. Genes have been re-implanted. Obviously, Smelly, it was different from Jezebel. Jezebel was the only one that had the breedable perk, which then transferred into Lord Tyom. So that is the same as Dutch. Dutch does not have the breedable perk, so it's just a baseline vampire. Perfect. So now all we need to do, we forgot to make Dutch not a slave. Whoops. Whoopsie. Oh dear. Let's quickly imprison Dutch and then turn him into a vampire that way. Dutch and Solus can now get to know each other in the prison. Two colonists that I never would have thought we'd have imprisoned. Oh, game, why have you done this to me? And a raid from the Union of Raleigh. Only one person, though. Oh, they're attacking my outpost again. Oh, no. Oh, fur. I don't know what I'm going to do, because you're dead meat, basically. I'll do what I did last time. I'm going to lock him in a room and hope that he survives. And enslaved. Mianio has been enslaved. Welcome, my friend. What were you good at? Construction, mining, and cooking. Nice. Not too bad. And the Western Republic has accepted your warrant on Jezebel and are actively completing it. Allies of the Republic, we obviously are. We have a joint cause against the ogres. Who'd have thought it? And a quick update on Fur, who's at the outpost being raided by one person. Fur is doing okay. I've got her set to repairing, and all she's doing now is just repairing this one piece of wall constantly. It is a losing battle, as you can see, but she's doing her best to make sure she doesn't get kidnapped or killed. Tribespeople from the Union of Raleigh have given up and are leaving. Fur is safe for another day. And a man-hunting pack of fairies have entered the area. What? Oh my god, there are 20 man-hunting fairies! What are we meant to do about that? Well, interestingly enough, I have actually started working on a front gate. I don't want to have to rely on things coming in really easily. I hope Lord Tyom and Smelly can deal with this, because I think this might actually be an issue, honestly. Lord Tyom is in there. He is getting absolutely swarmed by those fairies. Never would I have thought that the scariest thing that could raid us could potentially be what fairies. And all of a sudden, Tyoma's had a warrant put on him for poaching. They're attacking us. That's not fair. And Smelly has had one as well. Wow. Okay. Fair enough, game. Fair enough. And a raid. Small folk from the Keek Duel have arrived nearby. And there is 11 of them, and they're looking to capture Lord Tyoma. Ooh. The little people have arrived. Not the end of the world. Not too bad. 11 of them is a little bit of an issue. We still have not finished the front gates, unfortunately. But I honestly think we could probably deal with this. And they've decided to go after Bruno as well. No! Not Bruno. To be fair, Bruno's going to die. Oh, no. That's not very good. I thought Bruno would be invincible. So I just want to allow Lax just to go search and destroy, honestly. He seems to be very unwell and injured, so he's going extremely slow anyway. Small front of the Keek Duel have decided to kidnap who they can and leave. And I think the person they're planning on kidnapping is Mike. Please don't kidnap Mike. I can't lose another level 20 crafter. I just can't do that. My mental health would not be able to cope with losing another one. Get him, Lord Tyoma. Stop that man from stealing him. Lord Tyoma, please. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Tyoma. And marriage is on. One smelly mopweg. Will you marry me? The most romantic proposal I've ever seen between two colonists, Smelly and Lord Tyoma. Perhaps I never had to change the ideology. Perhaps I did. All I know is that these two deserve to be with each other. And another raid, the Cult of Cain. A group of elves from the Cult of Cain have arrived nearby. These people know that Jezebel isn't here, and they are taking full advantage of us. It's not quite fair, really, is it? And the elves from the Cult of Cain are beginning their assault. I've decided to lock all the doors to get in and out of the castle, just so we can try put off this raid just a little bit, so we can try and get people sorted. Fortunately, Horatio has been locked outside. Horatio, I am so sorry. Unfortunately, I think I've got no option other than to summon Smelly and Lord Tyoma to go after them, because they are just going to burn down my farm otherwise, because there's no other targets anywhere. I've got faith in Lord Tyoma and Smelly. And the elves from the Cult of Cain are already fleeing. That took absolutely no time at all. And Lord Tyoma is still going on an absolute rampage, chasing them down. Why am I not surprised, honestly? Why am I not surprised? Trananone has decided to go catatonic. All because he's a little bit hungry. Ignore the badly malnourished bit. He's just a little bit hungry. Oh, no. That's not really ideal. Unfortunately, it's just too much work for Lord Tyoma to do all the wardening by himself. As our only colonist even capable of it. Everything else just gets on top of him, and it's just a little bit too much for him. Oh, and another raid. There's just too many raids. All because, I'd like to remind you guys, all because we had some man-hunting fairies enter the map and try to kill Smelly and Lord Tyoma. And these are the bounties that have been put on us. 6,950 silver for Smelly and 10,000 silver for Lord Tyoma. I mean, I'm not surprised for the amounts, but this is really, really annoying. The swords aren't quite nearly as bad, but we still have to get rid of them either way. And the swords from the Pop Rock Patriti are already fleeing. This was nothing, really. We do have several survivors, in fact. I think I'm just going to capture them, and if they survive, that's wonderful. If they don't survive, then so be it. And Crusher has unfortunately died. One of the ogres that I wanted to turn into one of our slaves has died from an infection. RIP. So out of all of those ogres that I showed off at the beginning, only 2 of them are still alive. The thoughts of an ogre army are kind of running away from us, and we're maybe not going to be able to achieve it. But having 2 is still better than none, and we look at things positively. The Union of Raleigh have turned up as well, and they are planning on poaching nearby. Just go away. Can I just have, like, I don't know, a few minutes in peace? This has also unfortunately managed to get into a fight with Dutch, and his left leg's been chopped off. Oh, when Jezebel comes back and we're all happy and getting on with things, they're going to be so confused as to why Solus has lost a leg. Hopefully he doesn't bleed out in 2 hours. That would really not be ideal. So from the sword raid that we had 1 survivor. Fur Fist Harad, a 62-year-old town guard who is a double passion in cooking, double passion in art, and a double passion in healing with 16 intellectual. An extremely good colonist that under any other circumstance would be fantastic to pick up. However, because we are playing in such a way, the only ability that Fist will be able to use as a slave is cooking. The rest of his abilities are kind of So what we'll probably do is convert and enslave Fist and send him to a outpost. And death, Mike has died. Infection in the right arm. It just took over. There's just too many things going on and I wasn't able to look after Mike enough. And our second colonist this series with 20 crafting to die. Oh, God. Jezebel disappears and leaves and everything just goes to absolute shit. Trait, depressive. Colonist Trinones to constant stress has made the depression become permanent. Oh. Oh. Catatonic breakdown. You're now depressed. Oh dear. You're still a pretty good colonist. I will most likely still potentially keep you, as long as you don't get any worse Trinones. Your tome has gained another level as well. At least there are some positives going on within the colony. Perfect. So the next level, we're going to go for an actual ability. Let's go for Tiger Assault, just because it means that we can travel distance to get people and hopefully down them. Enslaved. Arapaima has been enslaved. Another colonist to add to the collection. Things have been going very slowly around the colony. All we're doing now is waiting for either Solus to be tamed, Dutch to be made into a vampire, or Jezebel to return. And the Western Republic have completed our warrant, and they're demanding a payment of 2,500. No worries, I will pay up just for you guys. So Jezebel is down as well. She's got death in 4 hours, but obviously she is deathless. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. She is an enemy at the moment, so we are going to have to go through all that stuff. So at the moment, she's of the same IG religion. She's just unfortunately part of the wrong faction, and she joined the Ogre tribes. Jezebel, what do you like? So who would have thought it? At the beginning of this episode, you know, I was hopeful. We had Solus and everybody was recovering from the loss of Jezebel. Now look where we're at. Solus and Jezebel are both in prison. The two leaders have become the subordinates. A new recruit. Solus points at the ground and demands that Solus come. Not in that way. I'm telling you that. It's not in that way. Don't be so dirty. Welcome back, Solus. Welcome back to society. Solus is probably so confused right now. His wife is in prison and is part of the Ogre tribe. One of his slaves is in there as well and has all of a sudden become a vampire. Hops is back and is not got a hat on and he probably has no idea who this is. There's some random giant wandering around. Solus, you're having it rough, my friend. You're having it very rough. A new recruit, Dutch. Dutch has been recruited. Our brand new vampire is ours. Dutch, take off that slave uniform. You are no longer required to do that. Welcome, my friend. Now, Dutch is obviously going to be basically a quote-unquote replacement for Jezebel, whilst Jezebel is still in prison. It shouldn't be long till we recruit her resistance. So Dutch will be assisting mainly with the research with Jezebel and hopefully double the speed of that. Otherwise, he's going to be a archer and kind of melee as well. Going to be just an all-round extremely good combat character to assist Lord Tyoma. So I'm going to queue up a double crossbow for Dutch as his main weapon. This is currently the best weapon that we can make in terms of range, DPS over accuracy, and DPS in general. And if we can make this a very good quality, that would be fantastic. And now that we need to craft, who is our next best crafter? Who is going to replace Mike? Theoretically, Hops, or Balzana, or Solus. We don't really have a key craft at the moment apart from Balzana. So I guess we could theoretically train up Solus to be good at crafting, because we do have a hell of a lot of builders. Like, we do have at least 3 colonists that can assist Solus in building. So I think we are going to switch Solus over entirely into crafting and get him to push on that rather than anything else. And research is finished. Millink's equipment. I completely forgot that I was doing research, but next we have got artificial limbs, free tree sewing, or steel. Steel obviously requires metallurgy schematics, which we don't have and I don't know how to access, so let's go for artificial limbs. An array from House Hesse. Charissa is here. What? They're looking to capture Lord Tyoma due to poaching. Charissa has arrived. She's back, and look how cool she looks all of a sudden. Oh, Charissa. Oh, Charissa. I am going to absolutely obliterate Charissa beyond belief for what she did to us. They also managed to actually flank us and go around on a different angle without me even noticing, which is really not ideal, but it's okay. Lord Timer's over here. He's already dealt with the one and not taken any damage at all. Smelly and Lax leading the charge, taking them out. Where's Charissa? Charissa is the only one that needs to be taken out. All the rest of them, I don't even care about. Lord Timer's joined them down here, and Charissa has been absolutely obliterated. I saw that. Lord Timer cut off her leg and just ruined her. Lord Timer, you're just too powerful. He must be the most powerful colonist I've ever seen, Lord Timer. And another raid from the House Hessa as well, and they are looking to kill or capture Smelly due to poaching. Yeah, because of all the poaching that we just generally seem to be doing. And there we are, the whole crew is here. Dutch has put on some random armor and he looks very lovely. He kept his slave collar on as well. Fair enough, Dutch, fair enough. We're just going to go search and destroy because honestly, I think we are powerful enough to just obliterate anybody we see at this stage. Lord Timer leading the charge as well. Oh, he's straight in there. Using his abilities left, right, and center. He's too quick and too powerful. It's just ridiculous. Already dead. All we need to do is get Lord Timer some better armor, and he would be unstoppable. And we did manage to capture a couple of people from these recent raids. We've got Rod, Jude, and Nielsen. All of them are kind of okay. Nielsen's got a double passion in construction. Jude has got 11 in persuasion, and Rod is got 6 in animal handling. But none of them are particularly good enough to have around the base. So honestly, I think these 3 will all get sent out to an outpost. And Solus has come down to talk to his wife, to try and encourage Jezebel to return to them. Jezebel was interested by what the Ogre tribes offered, but she knew deep down that what Solus wants is what is correct. Solus is always right at the end of the day. And Jezebel might return to us. Hopefully. Well, she will. A new recruit, Jezebel, has returned. And there's been an IG Legion split as a result. Miano and Thorgan have both joined a new IG Legion. They're both going to get arrested in a minute. But yeah, perfect. Jezebel has come back. I've missed her dearly. So that's 2 new vampires, in quotation, that we've picked up this episode. Jezebel and Dutch. 2 beautiful, fantastic colonists. And on that note, I'm going to call things here as well. This episode's been a bit of a weird one. A lot of raids and not much progress. Not having Jezebel here was just massive. Just nothing could happen. And I think me potentially making Dutch into a vampire was a little bit too haphazardly early. So next episode now, we've got Jezebel back, and we've got Dutch back. We've got a lot more slaves on the go. We should be able to make a load more progress now, especially with research. So if you have enjoyed today's episode and are excited to see what the future of the Ogre Vampire War holds, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.